When I bring the calendula into the house, I dehydrate it or just let it dry. As the flowers get dry, I continue to add them to this jar here. So this is what the dry calendula looks like. And then when I'm ready, I will scoop out some and I put it in another jar. And then I fill it up with avocado oil. And I let it set for at least 2 months to infuse the oil. And the oil turns yellow. It sucks out all the beneficial properties from the calendula flowers. And so then the next step, after waiting at least 2 months, which, by the way, this one has been in here since October 14th. So this stuff ought to be really good. You just strain it. So just get any kind of a strainer here. And I'm going to ask Roger to go ahead and dump this into the fine mesh strainer.
Look at how yellow that looks. Get as much as you can because it has been infused for many months, and a little bit goes a very long way.
Yeah, we don't want to waste any.
No.
So he's going to really scrape that jar. And whatever's left, I'm probably going to just scoop out with my fingers and put on my skin because it feels wonderful. And so we're going to let that set for a while. We're going to press it and get as much of the oil out of those flowers as we can. There you go.
You can smell it too. It smells good.
So this is the first step in making our calendula cream. And even Roger uses this cream whenever his hands are real dry from working outside. Or if he's got any kind of skin irritations. He tends to get some eczema patches once in a while, or hives, or his skin will itch, and this really calms it down.
Yeah, don't kid yourself, even for you guys. You working with products, I wouldn't say concrete, but some of the yard work really hits your hands and makes them very, I don't know the right word, but extremely dry and lack of any kind of oil at all. And it's very, it catches on like in the blankets at night and all that weird stuff. And putting a little bit of this goes a long way. So you don't have to cover yourself in it or nothing, but definitely why we use it. There's health benefits to your skin.
So now we're going to take these dried flowers that are in this jar. This is a quart-sized jar. I'm going to do a larger quantity this time. What we just emptied out was a pint jar. So now we're going to do a quart jar, and we're going to fill this up with avocado oil all the way to the top and cover the flowers. You want to do that, Roger?
Yeah, ready?
This is the kind of avocado oil I use. It's the Chosen Foods. I believe I got this from Costco.
Yeah,
I buy it in bulk.
Yeah. Go.
Okay. And you can use other oils for this, but avocado oil is a good option because it doesn't go rancid as easily. It doesn't go rancid as easily as olive oil does, so it has a longer shelf life.
I think we're just running out.
I've got a couple more jugs in there if we need more.
That's it. That's everything out of that jar.
Great. And so we'll date this, and in a couple months we'll be ready to make some more.
So 2 months will be, see, we are in the beginning of April. So that will be beginning of June.
Now I'm going to use the avocado oil that's been infused with calendula and mix it with coconut oil beeswax, and shea butter, and a little bit of essential oil to make my skin cream. And when I'm all done melting it, I'm going to put it in this jar here. This is a cool jar that I basically upcycled it. This was a candle, and when I was done, I got the rest of the wax out of there and melted it out and cleaned it really good, and I thought this would make a really great jar for cream. So this recipe is really easy. You measure out the recipe I have calls for 8 ounces of the calendula oil, 8 ounces of the coconut oil, 4 ounces of the beeswax, and 4 ounces of the shea butter, and then a cap full of whatever essential oil you want to put in there. So what I do is I just measure out however much calendula oil I have and do the same amount of coconut oil, and then half of that would be just so like 8, 8, 4, 4. So whatever these are, these will be half of those. So let's get to it. I'm going to put my pan on there and start the weight at 0. Now let's see how much calendula oil we have. I gotta change that to ounces. It's in grams right now. Well, that's 8 right there. I've got a little bit left. Let me scoop the rest of that out. So that's 9.9 ounces. So for all intents and purposes, I'm going to call that 10. So now I'm going to zero out my scale. And now I'm going to add 10 ounces of the coconut oil. There you go. Ten ounces of coconut oil. I'm going to zero out the scale again. And now we're going to put in 5 ounces, because that's half of 10. 5 ounces of the beeswax. I buy it in these little pellet form because beeswax takes a while to melt. when it's in these smaller pieces, it melts much faster. Okay, we're at 4.5. Getting close. Zero it out again. And now for the shea butter. The shea butter is a little harder to work with. It really is a lot like a hard butter. I don't know if you can see that. So I have to cut pieces off of this. This melts pretty quickly though. So we're measuring out 5 ounces of the shea butter. And when I do this, this whole process, my hands, by the time I'm done, are so soft. It feels wonderful because I get this stuff all over my hands and I just rub it in as I'm working. Let's see. That's it. So, see? Feels fabulous. Each one of these ingredients by themselves is great. But man, when they're all mixed together, it's fantastic. So now we just have to very slowly melt this. We don't want to melt it too high and too fast. So we don't want to scorch anything. And we don't want to lose any of the nice quality of these ingredients. Then you'll see when I'm melting this, the last things to melt is going to be the beeswax. Takes longer. What's nice about these ingredients is there's nothing toxic here. It's all natural. It's very nourishing for the skin. I even put this on my face. I don't break out. I put this on my feet at night. And I wake up and bottoms of my feet are nice and soft. This is great for elbows. This is also great if you have any kind of rash. Calendula, the properties of calendula are good for healing the skin. So any kind of cuts or scrapes, you put the calendula cream on there and it helps it heal really fast. And after I'm done melting this, I've decided I'm going to go ahead and put some lavender essential oil and some frankincense essential oil. I'll probably do a whole cap of lavender and probably half a cap of the frankincense. And both of those are good for the skin. The smell of them are relaxing, and I don't have to add essential oil into this cream. It's good without it, but the extra scent is really nice to have in it. What I've been doing lately, whenever I have candles that have a jar that I really like, I'll put the last little bit, or whenever the jar has a little bit of wax left in it, I will put it in my crock pot. I'll put the whole jar in there with a little bit of water at the bottom of the crock pot, and I will put that on low until the wax melts, and then I pour that out and just wipe out the jar really well and then wash it with soap and water, and it's good to use. Some jars I've been using for vases, for flower vases, for the flowers I'm growing outside, and this one I thought would be really good for my cream because it's wide and you can get in there and pull out the cream easier than having a tall, skinny jar, or having a small, short jar. This one's nice and wide and big, and it can hold a lot, rather than me having multiple little jars. I just get one big jar. And some of this cream is going to go to my mom. We're getting ready to go on a trip to go see my parents. And here's the final results of how much cream that 10 ounces of calendula oil made for us. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us as we learn to live a more natural lifestyle. I hope you have a blessed day.